Let's say you're given f of x equals to x squared plus 5, and you're asked to find f prime of x, which is known as the derivative of f of x. The process we use to go from here to here is known as first principles, and it involves this formula. As a prerequisite to learning calculus, you do need to know how to use functions. I have a playlist you can go through if you need a refresher on those concepts. Today on MathBase, we'll make use of the understanding of functions, along with this formula here, to find the f prime of x using a couple of examples. Alright, so first up we have x squared plus 5, and if you want to do this without making any mistakes, I would recommend finding these three pieces separately and then putting it all together in the formula. It's much easier this way because you are simplifying it as you go, rather than trying to work on everything at the same time in the formula. So here we've already been given f of x, so we can tick that off. The next thing we need to find is f of x plus h, and this is where our function knowledge comes in. Basically, wherever there is an x in the rule, we are now replacing that for x plus h. And so this would become x plus h squared plus 5. If you expand that, you will get x squared plus 2hx plus h squared plus 5. So we can tick f of x plus h off the list, and now we just need to subtract this expression from this expression up here. X squared will cancel this x squared up here, and this 5 will minus this 5. And so f of x plus h minus f of x will simply be left with these two terms over here, 2hx plus h squared. Now before we put this into the formula, one last thing you can do is divide by h. And so if you take this expression here and divide by h, we're looking at 2hx plus h squared, all on h, and each term divides by h, so this will be 2x plus h, which means our limit of h approaching 0 will simply be 2x plus h. Now this might look a little complicated with this limit thing over here, but all it's trying to tell you is to replace h for the value of 0. And so we would end up with 2x plus 0, and so the answer is 2x. And so we would say f prime of x is equal to 2x, and that's our answer. So the two main things to remember is to find all these pieces separately first, then plug it all into the formula, and the second step is to replace h for 0, and that will get you the answer. Let's look at the second example, which is slightly more complicated. Alright, so again, we're given f of x already, but we need to find f of x plus h. So you would replace x everywhere for x plus h. So we'll have x plus h squared plus 3x plus h in brackets plus 5. When you expand all of this, we'll get x squared plus 2hx plus h squared plus 3x plus 3h plus 5. Do the subtraction, and we will see that the terms that match each other will cancel off. So x squared and x squared will disappear. 3x will minus this 3x up here, so it's like an elimination thing. And the 5 will minus the 5, leaving us with these three terms. 2hx plus h squared plus 3h. In other words, just keep the terms that are unique. The next step is to divide. So we divide by h, and that will simplify to 2x plus h plus 3. So based on our formula, we're just going to take this and replace everything in here for it, and now substitute the h for 0. And so f prime of x will equal to 2x plus 3. So even though this function was a little more complicated with an extra x term here, we still did the same steps. You took x plus h, replaced it for all the x's everywhere, expanded everything, subtracted, divided by h for each term, and then plug that into the formula, replace h for 0, and got the answer from there. Nothing different. Now this function looks a little more complicated because we have a cubic involved, but the steps are exactly the same, it's just a little more tedious. So I won't be explaining anything here, I'm just going to let the video run and show you the steps so that you have an idea of how much work is involved. Alright, so there you go. And you'll notice there were a couple of h values here, and so when you replaced it, there were 2 of them that would become 0, leaving us with 3x squared minus 2 as our derivative. So I hope this instruction made sense to you guys. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, share this with your friends, and let me know what you think down in the comments below. Join the channel by clicking the subscribe button down below, and ring the bell so that when the next video comes out, you'll get notified about it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time.